I filmed this video like 6 months ago and I am just barely getting around to doing anything about it. Basically what this is all about is I had a baby shower back in like October of 2023. 23? Yes, 23. And it was Hobbit themed and I really wanted people to like dress up and stuff. I was obviously gonna dress up, but the thing is that not everybody just has stuff. And my sisters-in-law were the ones that were throwing the party and I really wanted to do something like nice for them because they have all these awesome skills and I also have awesome skills. It's just not like, I can sew. Okay, basically I can sew. So what did I do? Freaking made Hobbit corsets for the lot of them. This is the pattern that I used. Apparently this is like a modern take on this pattern. Hopefully I can find it online. I don't really know if that's true or not, but what I do know is that this completely underrated. Turns out this is one of my favorite patterns. I will be using it for a corset for myself as soon as I find the will to keep sewing. I am positive there's more I could say about this whole video and process and stuff like that. I'm gonna cut myself off there. In this house we craft in pajamas, let's get to it. I have 5 sisters-in-laws, sisters-in-laws? Whatever. I have 5 sisters-in-law, which means I need 5 corsets. So basically my plan was I hit up the local thrift store, I went to my favorite secondhand shop, scavenged around there, found a really, really awesome bed sheet, and then I got a couple other things. And then when I got home, I was like, oh, you know, I probably have stuff at home as well. And so I just went through my stash and just got a few hobbity looking colored of fabrics. Most of them are like drapes because I went through a phase during the pandemic where all I wanted to do was buy drapes and turn them into stuff, and I still have all these drapes, which it's working out really, really well for me. Cannot complain, 10 out of 10. But I just got to work cutting them out, and I cut them out all in like these gigantic layers because there was no way I was going to cut everything out individually. Absolutely not. Cutting through multiple layers of fabric sounded like a really good idea at the time, but now my scissors are dull and my hand hurts, and I don't think the pattern is as perfect as it should be. However, like with all of my projects, we're going with it and we're just gonna hope for the best because I'm not changing it now. I'm just gonna make it work. From here, I have all of my pattern pieces cut out and I have 5 corset top, tie, vest, bodice thingies. I don't know what I'm calling them, but I have 5 of them cut out. Some of them are kind of pinned together already, like for the lining pieces. The next step that I'm gonna do is iron on all of the interfacing to the fashion fabric, just to give it that like stiffness, so it's like nice and presentable and doesn't look so homemade. Not that looking homemade is a bad thing. Sometimes I just feel like I want it to be a little bit more professional looking, a little bit more, you know, nice. But you know what? Homemade isn't a bad thing in this case either because it's Hobbit clothes. And hobbits would probably have made their own clothes. Turns out it doesn't matter. It is what it is, and I'm just gonna make whatever it turns out. We truly are just going with it, and we're gonna be happy about whatever comes out of the whole process. And now that I'm in the past, and this is me from the future, and I know it already works out and that everything fits everyone really well, so we are totally golden and in the clear. Moving on, would it be an Alexandria Lane video if you didn't watch me iron something for like 20 minutes? No, absolutely not. Get those demons out of the fabric, press it on down, and iron the crap out of the wrinkles. A pressed project is a blessed project. Amen. You guys, in all seriousness, pressing this much interfacing onto all these pieces took forever. I have all the pattern pieces cut out, interfaced, and some of the linings are already pinned together a little bit. And then I'm just gonna chain stitch all of these, just like run them through my machine as efficiently as possible, get everything assembled together. Hopefully it all looks okay. I realized I actually cut the wrong pattern out for like 3 of these corset tops, and I just hope that it's fine. Again, my whole thing is this is gonna work one way or another. We just have to hope for the best and keep things separate because there's 2 different sizes. There's some that are like a size small and some that are like a size large, medium, and if I mix those up, we're gonna be in real trouble because I don't want to unpick anything. And hopefully by me saying that out loud, I'm not cursing myself, but yeah, here we go. And I'm pleasantly happy to sit down and sew because ironing these, I mean, it only took me like half an hour, but standing at my iron makes my hips hurt, and I should have maybe gone for a walk this morning or done some stretches. I always feel better when I am like consistently moving around, but I haven't been doing that the last couple of days, and I'm starting to feel it. And now I'm just gonna sit at a sewing machine for the next couple of hours. Yep, that sounds like a decision I'm about to make. If you have been watching my videos for a while now, you maybe already know this, and if you're new here, congratulations, you get more information about me. So fun. I suffer from chronic pain. I always thought, you know, when I was a kid, I was told I was gonna grow out of these pains. They were just growing pains, but they never went away. And turns out if I do not consistently move my body and stretch and go for walks and do my little exercises, I put myself into an absolute pit of despair. I get super depressed, I get super anxious, my body feels like it's crumbling, and literally the way to combat that is so simple. I just need to move my body, eat relatively healthy, and get some sleep. And all of that is much harder to do than it is to say. And oddly enough, there are a few people that watch my videos that have reached out to me saying, hey, I also suffer from chronic pain, or I have this ailment or whatever, and we commiserate together. The experience is miserable, but it is also kind of nice to have friends that have things in common with you, even if it is just my body hurts all the time for silly reasons. I kind of want to do something a little bit special with a few of these just to kind of make them a little bit more fun. So I'm just going to start with the brown suede one, and this one's going to be really simple. All I'm doing is folding the seam allowance flat and then stitching down like on both sides of the seam. That one's pretty simple, so I'll go ahead and do that. Just go ahead and call me the queen of sustainability or something like that. This brown suede is what's left over from my Padme outfit that I made when I was pregnant, like pregnant Padme on Muse. There we go, there it is. You're breaking my heart. Probably fine, right? Pregnant Padme, and you know what? It's working just fine for other projects too, which is great because I do try to save my scraps, especially if they're like bigger scraps. If it's a huge chunk of fabric, it's absolutely going in my chunk of fabric bin, and then I'll just pilfer through it, and when I find something I like, I just pull it right out. I don't necessarily recommend hoarding fabric, or really hoarding anything for that matter, but there are times it comes in handy, more often than not. Adding all the little felt pieces in there took forever, but I'm confident that it will make a better garment in the end because it just needed some added thickness and padding. Oh, I guess I should have mentioned this because I plan on putting grommets into the corset so that I can lace it up through the grommets. I had to add a little bit of felt padding in between the layers of the corset because it just wasn't holding the grommet very well, and I want these to last a little bit longer than just 1 or 2 wears, so that's why I added felt in between the layers. If that doesn't make sense, that's fine because this is not a tutorial channel. Okay, bye! In the areas where I want to add grommets, and because I don't really know the exact sizes of anyone that I'm making any of these corsets for, I decided to make them as size adjustable as possible. To make that happen, I have to have grommets on the back part as well as like up the front, just so that it can fit a multiple range of sizes. The kind of grommets that I have are kind of like for thicker fabric, so I just kind of thickened it up a little bit. I've already said that. I'm tired, my back hurts. Oh, somebody get me a donut! But I'm gonna try and sew a few more things together before I go lay on the couch. In addition to hoarding fabric, I also hoard notions. Actually, I'm not 100% sure if bias tape qualifies as a notion, but I definitely am busy hoarding it. I have a whole little cabinet full of different colors and sizes, and it came in really handy for this project because I just visited my little stash and pulled out what I needed, and here I am sewing it on.
The next day.
Yesterday when I was like, I'm just gonna do this and hopefully this doesn't curse me by saying that it's just gonna work out fine, I sewed the bias tape on this panel like with the wrong side up. So this is the actual outside and this is the lining, and I had the lining up, so that's what I'm like making sure all my lines look perfect on this side that's wrong when it should have been this way, and now I have to unpick this. So I did curse myself, but it's a new day and it's pretty early. Like, this is earlier than I normally start sewing. Usually I am still in bed by now. And is that a little embarrassing? No, not at all. If you have time to stay in bed and no other worldly obligations to get to, just stay in bed for an extra couple of minutes. It doesn't hurt anyone. It's fine. I mean, if you have stuff to do or things to take care of and you're like in bed not doing any of them, maybe get out of bed. But usually I don't really have anything on my plate until like, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning. So that's the time I've been getting up lately. If not later. You don't need to know all that. Let's get back to this. I share too much with you guys, and yet I have no regrets. Unpicking this only took me like 10 minutes right now, but last night it felt like it was the end of the world and there was no way I was gonna do it. That's the power of just going to sleep or setting things aside when you're just like, I can't do this anymore. And it's like craft stuff. craft stuff gets you all worked up sometimes. Sometimes I'm just like, I want to swipe all of this off the table and just be done with it. But then I come back like a day or two later and I'm like, oh yeah, no, this is really simple and I've already figured it out up here. Don't give up on your crafts, guys. That's me talking to me right now. The only time I've ever actually swiped a bunch of stuff off the table in a fit of rage was when I was like probably 15 years old and I was trying to get ready for like a band concert or something. You guys, I play the clarinet. Well, at least I used to. And I was like curling my hair, and this is back in the day when tight ringlets were what's popular, and so I'm trying to be fast. I'm trying to hurry. This band recital thingy is coming up and I'm like, I don't have time. And then like my mom, she must have yelled down at me to hurry or something. And the cord on the curling iron got caught on one of the knobs and that was it for me. I just freaked out and swiped everything off of the table. And as you can imagine, that only made everything worse. Okay, hopefully everything is in frame because I didn't check it. This is my method for how I'm getting like the most use out of my bias tape. And I've kind of figured this out over a couple different bodices. So what I do is I do these two side and front pieces first, and I do 1 pack of bias tape for each, this one's empty, 1 pack of bias tape for each side and front center piece, and then whatever's left over, I'm gonna try and get the back piece out of. So I'll just fold it in half, and then I'll find the middle point of the back piece, and then just kind of estimate a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect, but this one, so it looks like this one's gonna be able to go all the way around. If it didn't go all the way around, like it's plenty long enough, but if it didn't go all the way around, then I would start about here and go as far as it would take me, and then fill in the gap down here. That way it wasn't like up on the shoulders or somewhere that's super visible. You want any overlap to be in the bottom area. I think that just looks the cleanest. But yes, that is the method I have decided to go with, and it's worked for 3 of the bodices so far. This one and the orange one are the last one that I have to do, and then I need to run and go get some grommets because I had enough grommets to do my plan for just front laces, but now I have to do front and side laces, and I have nowhere near as many as I need. So I am gonna have to go get more. I'm not mad about that. I haven't left the house in like 3 days, so maybe it's time for a field trip anyways. As soon as I finish sewing these, we're going to the craft store. While we're talking about bias tape, I will say a few things. First of all, there are definitely multiple ways to sew bias tape onto a corset or onto really any project. This is just the way that I went with because I felt like it was going to be the quickest. That being said, if I was doing a project for myself and I was only doing one, I would do it a completely different way just to make it really crispy, and I would probably do a lot of hand sewing on it, but you will not catch me out here hand sewing 5 different corsets in the time frame that I allotted myself this time. Absolutely not. And if you want to talk about time saving tools really quick, this little gauge thingy is an absolute time saver. It is the best way to mark up all these little grommet holes. It expands, it collapses, you can do multiple different sizes in between, or maybe it's for buttonholes. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but I use it for a lot of different things. These hole punching pliers are another tool that I use quite frequently. Now again, there is more than one way to do certain tasks. A lot of people will use an awl and just punch a hole through the fabric with the awl. I have the pliers, I use them, they work just fine for me. I have a method, and the method is when my hands get tired, I just give the thingy over to my husband and he punches all the holes for me. Big strong man. And now, oh my gosh, I forgot this, but we're making dinner. Oh, you guys, this is one of my favorite recipes. It's freaking taco soup. And you already know I'm using the crock pot because this is a classic dump and go recipe. You start it in the morning, you turn that crock pot on low, let it simmer all day, and by the evening time, dinner is already ready. And for me, a busy mom, the crock pot is glorious. It's like my little modern day witch's cauldron. I can't get enough of it. And I filmed this video in the fall time when the air was crisp and the colors on the leaves were changing and all I wanted was soup. Yeah, this is good stuff. Love me some sloppy soup. Also, look at that gray hair. Oh my gosh, back to business. The way I install grommets is one of many ways to install grommets, but basically what I do is I punch a hole for the grommet to go in, insert the grommet into one side, put a little bit of E6000 glue all the way around the little grommet, and then put the top part of the grommet on, and then I finish it up with my grommet pliers, just pressing the 2 grommets together just to make sure that they're truly secure and safe, they're not going to go anywhere, and the glue really helps them stay put, especially because I don't use an awl. Now, the only reason I don't use an awl is because I simply don't have one. But I do have the hole punchy grommet plier thingy tool, so I just use that. And guys, it's fine. It works just fine. It's not that big of a deal. This is one thing that people yell at me in the comment section for. Mind your business. If you want to yell at me in the comment section, do it over something that I haven't previously explained before or something that actually matters, not just silly crafting techniques. This is the internet and I do whatever I want here. Lacing everything up was the last thing on my to-do list. I made sure to put a little bit of fray check on the end of each ribbon just to make sure that it was secure and wouldn't fray. And that's pretty much it. Good news, this was a great success. This is one of the 2 corsets that I have 0 measurements for the person. So I just tried to make it as size inclusive as possible. So I've got laces up here, laces on the shoulders, laces, and then laces on both sides of the back. Because like the worst thing in the world is when you make something for someone as a gift and then they're like, cool, that's never gonna fit me. But this totally will fit. Like you can close it down to a really tiny size that could fit a 13, 14-year-old kid, or this, which fits my probably size 20 pregnant body right now. Totally awesome. I'm so happy. And I'm out of breath. Whew. All I have left to do is the red one, which is a similar situation to this. I just didn't have the measurements for the person the red or the brown one is going to, but I think we're gonna be just fine. I'm editing this video and sitting in bed while the baby naps, and it turns out I didn't film the little part at the very end of the video where I tell you guys to subscribe and I talk about what worked and doesn't work, and guess what? This is the best I'm gonna do right now. What worked? Freaking everything. What didn't work? Not applicable because everything worked just fine. It was awesome. The party was awesome. There's another video coming out soon and talking about my outfit that I wore to the costume party. Baby shower, Hobbit themed baby shower. Everybody had a lot of fun. It was beautiful. I got a bunch of really great gifts for me and the baby, but that's pretty much it. This is the end of the video, and as soon as I finish editing this video, I get to take a nap, so let's wrap this up right now. If you haven't subscribed yet, now is the time. Hit that bell icon. I always feel weird saying that, but it's what you're supposed to say. I guess I don't have to say. Doesn't matter, moving on. Like and comment, all the things. Follow me, subscribe. What am I doing? I need a nap. I need a nap immediately. We're shutting it down. We're shutting it down. In this house, we craft in pajamas so that we can take naps as quickly as possible. Pikachu jammies. These are my Pikachu jammies.